How do we recognize hardship? I have to look at the example of our beloved Muhammad Ali. May Allah bless him and raise his rank and ennoble his face. That even when they stripped his title away from him, when they stripped his ability to earn his living, they basically tied his hands behind his back and said that if you will not fight in our war, if you will not further our international oppression and imperialism, then we will tie your hands behind your back. And he said, that's fine. As you're tying my hands behind my back, I will act just as Jafar did. I will preach this Islam from every portion of my mouth, and I will raise the light of La ilaha illallah from between my teeth. And that is exactly what he did, touching every heart that he ever met, benefiting whether they be Muslims or Christians or Jews, bringing light to children, bringing faces, bringing smiles to the elderly. We have to be those kind of people. And that, subhanallah, they couldn't deny him. That even though they tried to strip him of his title, eventually they had to recognize that not only when it came to boxing, we know this from his funeral, that not only when it came to boxing, but when it came to be an excellent human being, he was one of the greatest of all times. And then, of course, we have to look at our beloved Al-Hajj Malik Shabazz. That, subhanallah, and this one is a significant one. Significant because the beginning of his life is actually complete hardship. When we look at the moment for how his father is murdered, that when we look at, and many of us, our brothers and sisters in Islam are suffering this, that their fathers have been murdered or imprisoned at the hands of the enemies of Islam and at the enemies of Muslims. We look that his mother fell into a despair and fell under the cloak of mental illness. We look that his youth was just embittered and embattled with so much trouble that he was not only, he had become a thief, that he was what we would call a thug, that he was someone that you would never want your child to become at that stage, that he was never someone that you would actually want to know. And yet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, in your hardship, in your darkness, I will pull you out into the light. That I recognize that you are worthy of the truth of La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So I say this to you and to me, that many times our children are cloaked in what appears to be darkness. Many times that our children have fell under the spell of drug addiction or depression, or they have fallen into crime, and some of them have even gone to prison. And we have thought that in this hardship, I'll close the door on them. I'll just wipe my hands because they've brought shame upon me and my family. That's not the way I brought them up. But if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose to have mercy on them and said that they are valuable, then what I'm saying is that our youth who are in a moment of hardship, our job in standing up for them is to stand up and pull them out of the grave of hardship and pull them into this deen. Pull them into the comfort of mercy.